There was a morning recently when I sat alone at the kitchen table, a steaming cup of coffee in my hands, and the house felt quiet in a way that wasn't peaceful, just empty, the walls seeming farther apart and the ticking of the clock unusually loud. I looked around and wondered, is this what retirement is meant to feel like? No meetings, no rush, no noise, yet no one to share the moment with. That's when it hit me. Loneliness isn't simply about being alone. It's about feeling unseen, forgotten, like life is continuing without you. But it doesn't have to be that way. Over time, I've discovered simple habits, and not from books or lectures, but from ordinary days and quiet reflections that keep my spirit alive even when the house is empty. 7 small practices that help me feel full, grounded, and connected. I want to share them with you, not as advice or a lecture, but as one person in this stage of life reaching out to another, because later years are meant to be lived fully, richly, and without loneliness hanging over us. If you've ever felt that quiet ache in your chest, this is for you. The first practice is to start each day with intention. I used to think retirement meant sleeping in, taking it easy, letting the day unfold however it liked. I'd wake up whenever, shuffle to the kitchen for coffee, and then nothing. Days stretched endlessly without purpose. At first, it felt relaxing, but gradually it began to feel like drifting, like I had no anchor. One morning, I asked myself a simple question that changed everything. What am I waking up for? Not in a dramatic way, just the small, everyday reason that pulls me out of bed. I started with tiny things of feeding the birds, jotting down 3 things I was grateful for, watering the plants, stretching for a few minutes, or sitting outside listening to the wind. Purpose doesn't need to be grand, it just needs to be yours. It shapes the day, guides your energy, and gives you a sense of engagement. You stop waiting for life to happen and start meeting it head-on. Even small intentional acts make a difference, giving each day direction and meaning. The second practice is to speak to at least one person every day. After retiring, I realized I could go entire days without talking to anyone. That kind of quiet felt hollow, like I didn't exist to anyone but myself. So, I made it a rule, every day, connect with someone. It could be a text to my grandson, a phone call to my sister, a smile to a neighbor, or a greeting to someone at the store. These moments don't have to be long or profound, but they must be real. Once you open yourself to them, connections appear more often. People smile back. They remember you. That sense of being seen, of being acknowledged, quietly strengthens your heart. The third practice is to move your body, no matter how slowly. When I was younger, movement was automatic: running, lifting, climbing. As I aged, I slowed down, and for a while, I embraced the stillness. But the less I moved, the heavier everything felt, and not just my body, but my mind and spirit. One short walk down the block reminded me how vital movement is. It's not about exercise, it's about presence, resilience, and reclaiming your energy. Even a small act of stretching, walking to the mailbox, tending a plant connects you with life again. Movement quietly combats loneliness. The fourth practice is to stay curious, even about small things. After retirement, I felt I had seen most of life. Days blurred into a routine of coffee, news, lunch, nap, repeat. Something was missing: spark, wonder, curiosity. Watching a squirrel at the feeder, I asked why it kept returning. That question led to an hour of reading and learning. Curiosity, even in tiny doses, adds color to life. It keeps the mind engaged, and loneliness retreats when your attention is focused outward, seeking new ideas, learning, and surprises. Keep a small list of things to explore, and let your curiosity guide you. The fifth practice is to reach out first. I spent days waiting for the phone to ring, hoping someone would remember me. One day I realized maybe everyone else was waiting, too. I decided to be the one to call, to send a message, to wave first. That small act sparked connection, laughter, and warmth. Reaching out doesn't mean desperation, it's strength, it's love, it's taking the first step to remind yourself and others that connection is possible. One call, one message, one wave can weave warmth back into your days. The sixth practice is to create, even in small ways. After retiring, I felt my identity vanish. I wasn't needed for work, tasks, or responsibilities. My hands felt empty. Then I found an old journal and began writing a memory, a recipe, a reflection. Small acts of creational baking, gardening, crafting, writing reconnect you with yourself. You are more than a consumer, you are a participant in life. The things you create, no matter how small, matter because they come from you. Creation brings purpose and joy, and it keeps loneliness at bay. The seventh practice is to speak kindly to yourself. I've spent a lifetime being gentle with others but harsh with myself. Now I consciously offer myself compassion. It's okay to be tired. You did your best. You matter. Self-kindness isn't pretending, it's giving yourself permission to be human, to age, to feel, to rest. The voice you hear most often shapes your world. Treat yourself as you would a dear friend, and loneliness begins to loosen its grip. If you followed along this far, thank you for being here, for choosing to live intentionally, with heart, even in quiet moments. These habits won't fix everything overnight, but they transform stillness into meaning, silence into peace, and solitude into strength. Loneliness may knock, but you can answer it with purpose, connection, movement, curiosity, creation, and kindness. You are seen, you are remembered, you still matter deeply.